Good morning, everybody. We've just concluded an Emergency Management Council meeting chaired by the Premier to make sure that the state is in a full state of preparedness for what is still going to be a very significant weather event. I'll invite Chief Beattie from the SES and also Vince Rowland, Senior Forecaster from the Bureau of Meteorology, to give you an update in a moment. But as far as the state government is concerned, our priority, of course, apart from making sure we're fully prepared, is people staying safe in what could potentially be rather dangerous conditions. The most significant risk to life still remains motor vehicle accidents in conditions that could be treacherous on our roads. So a couple of key messages for motorists as they get out and about this afternoon in dangerous conditions is, firstly, please drive to the conditions. Make sure that you're slowing down to take into account the busyness of the roads and also, of course, the rain. But secondly, of course, if it's flooded, do not go through flood conditions on our roads. It's really important that South Australians, when they see it's flooded, they forget it. Recently in Victoria, tragically, we did see a death as a result of a motorist deciding to drive through flood waters. It is really important that whenever people see flooded roads, they do not attempt to drive through those roads. They are risking their lives and those of the passengers inside the vehicle. Our state of preparedness is to be commended, particularly amongst our emergency services and the volunteers that have already been hard at work. We've seen some 43,000 sandbags be delivered around the community yesterday alone. That's 165 tonnes of sand. That is an unprecedented number, so I commend South Australians for taking up the offer of sandbags to make sure their homes are in a state of preparedness. Finally from me, can I just put out a very sincere thank you for what will no doubt be another extraordinary effort on behalf of our emergency services, but particularly of our volunteers. Volunteers from both the SES and CFS have already experienced one of the busiest winters on record. We've had more jobs this winter than the two winters combined from the last 2 years. It's been an extraordinary effort from our emergency service volunteers. They're out there in incredibly dangerous conditions in the middle of the night, and they'll be putting in another extraordinary effort again over the next 48 hours, and I want to thank them in advance for doing the important work that they do. I now invite Chief Beattie from the SES just to give a more detailed briefing.